Welcome to Vegas. Sorry I took you all out of Miami. I saw a lot of people. They said, "Where's the boat?" I said I couldn't get the boat in the desert. I'm thinking about it. In lieu of a yacht, I bought slides. I want to talk about the year 2013. As Paul had said, we're really enthusiastic about 2013. This is really a great year for us. We're bringing to market the greatest product line we've ever had in the history of the company. And I wanted to show you some of the new things we're going on, things that you'll probably see during the coming months. We've been hard at work for the past few years developing new technology. We're a technology company. We are an enterprise technology company, so our mission is to create enterprise technology that we can integrate with your company. So we know we'll never be a great retailer or a great bank or a great insurance company or the best marketing company or distribution network, but what we can do is we can continually scan the horizon of technology and find a way to create the platforms that would empower each and every one of your companies to do something really great. And that's what we're doing in 2013, more so than ever. The things you're going to see us bring to market in 2013 across three major categories. We have enhancements to our platform technology. We have new applications we're bringing to market. And we have cloud-based services we're bringing to market. Now, I wanted to speak about each of those and talk about some of the things we're excited about in those areas. With regard to platform, our view of platform is it's a tool set that we provide to application developers so that they can build compelling applications that we could never conceive of. Now, we don't know exactly what is the killer application in your company, but we know that there are certain values that each of you appreciate and you're going to continue to look for from anybody that's going to be a vendor to your firm. And of course, you want your applications to be beautiful, you want them to be agile, you want them to run rapidly, and you want them to be mobile. Those are all core values everyone's looking for. So we did a lot of thinking, and we've made a lot of investment in time and energy to try to make sure that we upgrade our tool sets to allow you to create these beautiful, mobile, agile, and fast platforms. You can see here just a quick video of some of the things we're doing. This is an example of our visualization workbench. This is our view toward analytical applications. And our view is if you're going to build analytical applications today, we need to make sure that they're as visual, as they're as exciting, they're very visceral, they're very intuitive. We want to take advantage of all the features of multi-touch operating systems like iOS and Android. And we also want to make sure that we bring to the fingertips of each of your customers something which is just so intuitive that you don't need to spend a lot of time in a classroom studying it or reading a manual. And the good news here is the latest set of technologies allow us to bring to bear integrations between your data and our intelligence engine and, for example, Google Maps, as you can see right here, or if you happen to be on the iPad now, Apple Maps. We like to be able to make sure that anything you can imagine you can put into a dashboard. We've spent a lot of time thinking about new types of visualizations like these network visualizations or network visualizations that are combined with maps. And along the way, we've seen a dramatic improvement in our mobile capabilities. We started in the mobile market, and we launched our first product in July of 2010, so now we're about 30 months into the mobile era. And we've been rapidly working in those 30 months. We didn't rest on our laurels. We've gone through many, many iterations of our mobile product. I think this video gives you a sense of where we've been and where we're going. I wanted to play it for you. So there you go. It's not quite the old web intelligence MicroStrategy. What we're seeing right now is people expect to be able to interact with their intelligence. And so we've been working very, very hard to make sure we take advantage of all those multimedia and sharing and communication capabilities that are implicit and people have grown to expect in their smartphones and their tablet computers. One thing you saw in the video, which we're really excited about, is this new feature called Draw to Explore, where we're starting to map a lot more intelligence into a geographic framework, and now we allow you to actually just circle or highlight different geographies and then compare them to each other. So you see on this graph, we've actually highlighted 4 different regions, calculated all the data that's in the 4 regions, and we set up the ability to start to compare that and analyze it all very, very rapidly. It's something that was really kind of inconceivable in the world of PC, and now, as we start to see stuff coming into the multi-touch world, it seems the most natural thing in the world. We take advantage of that to great effect in some of our applications, and I'll show you in a bit. I would be remiss without pointing out that in addition to that and all the advances we've made with the graphical interfaces and mobile, we've also been working very hard to improve the selectors and the filter editors to make it much, much easier and more rapid for you to select the things you want to see. An application we created called Wisdom drove that, but oftentimes the applications we create will drive us to improve our platform, and of course our platform updates will find their way into the application. So they're very synergistic here. The annotation, the sharing, we're very enthusiastic about because we feel that to the extent that we can integrate intelligence into decision-making or action or workflow in the enterprise, then we enable everyone to do a better job, and we enable corporations to take much, much more value out of their data warehouse investments. And here you can see a transactional application on an iPhone. It doesn't look like a traditional MicroStrategy app, but it actually is. And this is actually an application that we use in our own company. We use it to approve purchase orders and personnel plans and job offers. So it gives us the ability to make real-time decisions from the pocket and from anywhere in the world. And the ability to combine the transactional capability with the intelligence puts information at our fingertips in a way that everybody's always wanted in this industry. This is actually an airline delay chart, and it just shows how long it takes to get out of the Dulles airport. It's just one way to look at it. I'm not going to highlight the airline that's too late. I am going to say, though, that the other thing we've been doing right now is working very, very hard on performance and offline modes. I think the early versions of the product, they worked really well if you were on a very, very fast Wi-Fi network. And then we decided we wanted it to work on a 3G or 4G network. And, of course, if you really believe in mobile, you have to be able to move untethered. What happens if we turn off the radio or if the network goes down or we get on an airplane, we don't have it. And so what you see here is in the background is we've worked very, very hard on developing intelligent caching algorithms and the ability to securely store content offline. We encrypt this stuff and we move it through the network at 256-bit encryption rates. No one's going to be able to crack it if they steal you or you lose your iPad or your iPhone or your Android device. They won't be able to intercept it. We have intelligent algorithms that download content dynamically based upon your browse patterns. And so we do our best to make sure that we're downloading and we're caching locally all the content that you might want to view. So in the event that the network slows down or the network drops or you simply click to something, you get the fastest possible performance. This is a never-ending task, I believe, for any great platform company. And the amount of intelligence that's going in this is quite dramatic. Another point I'll make in the platforms business is that in addition to trying to make our applications that you build beautiful and make the platform mobile friendly, we're also doing what we can to make it more agile. And Express is an example of a strategy we pursued to create agility. In the past, when you have the full power of the MicroStrategy platform at your fingertips, you can do extraordinary things, and of course you can still do extraordinary things, but sometimes it takes longer than people would like. And we've heard from our customers they'd like things to go quicker and make them easier. And Express is our approach toward that. We thought to ourselves, is there a class of applications that we can build, or is there a class of applications that our customers might build that we can enable them to build in minutes or deploy in days? And once we worked through that, we figured, well, yeah, there really is. There's a whole class of dashboard applications and reporting applications where there's no reason why it should take more than a few days to put them into the marketplace. And I wanted to show you a picture of what some of these Express applications are, because in essence, the mantra for the Express team is, let somebody deploy an application to 20,000 people with no capital in just a week or two, and maybe just a person or two. And they can look like this, with the most dramatic of heat maps or interactive dashboards. Everything you just saw, beautiful maps and network visualizations with interactive filtering, you could deploy, and this is over the web, or you can drive it to an iPad or an Android device, and it can look like a dashboard or some interactive flight tracker. Or maybe you want to deploy a daily statement to your customers or monthly statement, and you want to get it done without a huge amount of effort. You can have a fully formatted enterprise report driven to everybody's smartphone, everybody's Android device, everybody's iPad, and the web, and you could send it to 100,000 people, have it customized for each of the 100,000 people, fully encrypted, with all of the rich graphics that they would expect, and do it with one or two people in a week, with no capital, with no data center and no IT resource if you do it out of our cloud. But the same Express product that we're actually running out of our cloud, we're going to bring to the market as a platform so you could run it in your own data center as well. And our view here is, let's put power in the hands of our developers so that they can achieve what they want with rapidity and agility. And these are things, they don't look like we would knock them off in a couple of days or a couple of hours, but you can. And in addition to that, we put all the interactivity that you might expect there too. So it's kind of exciting to see these things, because you would think they might require the whole tool set, but really they don't. So in summary, with the platform, we're going to continue to invest aggressively as much as we can to make the capabilities of our application development platform powerful, beautiful, agile, mobile, and speedy. And that's a never-ending task. And just about everybody here in this room probably got their start building some kind of application on the MicroStrategy platform. So we want you to know that we think there's a really wonderful and brilliant future there ahead. Sanjay will speak more about this in a second when he comes up, so I don't want to steal his thunder, but I do want to say that we think that there is a renaissance of application development coming our way. Data is becoming central to 10 times more of the economy than it was even a few years ago. So although we've seen a past of many, many beautiful and brilliant applications, I think the future holds a lot more. And you see that every day with the vibrance of this marketplace. Moving on to my next subject, I want to talk a bit about cloud services. Our view toward cloud is we're not going to provide every conceivable application hosted out of the cloud. We're going to focus upon the applications that you, our customers, want to run out of the cloud. And we're creating a very tailored cloud service that allows you to create intelligence-rich, beautiful, powerful mobile applications running out of the cloud, things that we think we can do better than anybody in the world. And I think this video tells the story pretty well.
Data is the lifeblood of your business. When you have it at your fingertips, good things happen. You make better decisions, operate more efficiently, keep your customers happy, and make more money. When you don't have it, opportunities can pass you by. Business intelligence, or BI, gets you the data you need to run your business anytime and anywhere, on your computer or on your mobile device. But the problem is, BI isn't always easy. You need big databases, powerful hardware, special software, and IT experts to wire it all together. All this can get expensive, so it's usually only the big companies that can afford it. And it can take time, months and months of time, so business users sometimes feel like they get old before they see results. But now all that's changed. MicroStrategy makes the power of world-class cloud-based business intelligence available to everyone, whether big, medium, or small, with team, departmental, or enterprise needs, faster and cheaper than ever before. Thousands of companies are using it today to improve their business performance. It's the leading business intelligence platform from the world's largest independent business intelligence company. So if you can imagine it, you can build it. The best reports and dashboards, beautiful mobile enterprise apps, and big data analytics. MicroStrategy Cloud offers the latest in self-service BI, so you can put your big ideas to work quickly and easily. And you can sleep easy because you know it's safe, secure, and certified, and not some fly-by-night imitation. MicroStrategy Cloud lets you choose where your data will live. You can connect directly to an existing on-premises database with our secure, high-performance Direct Connect technology. Or you can move your data to the cloud and take advantage of analytical database and data integration from the industry's leading technology companies. This way, you only pay for what you use and watch the savings add up. With MicroStrategy, you get the best cloud intelligence technology in the world, delivered in record time without spending lots of money. Now you can spend less time worrying about the data, less time trying to get those IT guys to pay attention, and more time making better business decisions. And isn't that what business intelligence is all about? MicroStrategy Cloud, the fastest and easiest way to deliver business intelligence. Find out more at microstrategy.com/cloud.
So our thinking with regard to the cloud is we want to provide the highest performance, the fastest time to value, the lowest cost, and the lowest risk. And we've looked across our customer base, and one thing we've observed is thousands of companies, in essence, engaged in the same redundant activity. And how can it make sense that thousands and thousands of companies all go through the same task? We have to pick out a database. We have to negotiate with a database vendor. We have to negotiate with a hardware company. We have to figure out how much RAM and how to configure our machines and install the latest version of MicroStrategy and get that right configuration. Then we have to go recruit a bunch of experts to operate the system and train them and get them to work together as a team. And then we're going to build an application. We're going to deploy it. And we're going to go through and maintain all that stuff. If you have a large enough critical mass and a deep enough technology bench, then it might make sense to do that. But certainly there's a whole host of companies that just want the application to run and run rapidly everywhere in the world, and they don't want to deal with the headache. And MicroStrategy Cloud is based upon the observation that if we can just get that entire configuration to work well once, then we can host thousands or tens of thousands of apps, on that cloud. And so I'm happy to say that as of today, about 18 months into the launch of MicroStrategy Cloud, we've got 5 million reports run, 1,000 concurrent users, 200 terabytes of data, 10,000 CPU cores, and 5,000 distinct environments that are working in our cloud. And we're supporting right now 30,000 users across 100 countries with 2 petabytes of data. So it's not the end state, but the entire cloud is growing pretty rapidly, and if you hop on top of it, you can take advantage of that momentum. We're only investing more and more, and as our customers join that cloud, then you get the benefit of all of their investment as well. This is just a snapshot of some of our customers. You can see we're really excited about some of the greatest companies in the world all depending upon us in order to run their operating systems and run their BI. In essence, the cloud business is about us bringing together experts with technology, with the infrastructure to make all this work. And as I said before, right, the promise here is if you can take advantage of capital that's sitting idle because someone else's work runs at a different time of the week, or because you don't both need the same amount of surge capacity at the same time, then what would have been very expensive to you becomes fairly cheap. And likewise, if we can amortize the cost of that technology, and we only negotiate those contracts with all those other technology vendors once as opposed to 1,000 times. And if you can take advantage of the people or the insight or every single tweak we put in the system, then your operating costs go down, your capital costs go down. And so we're enthusiastic about the cloud business. It's surging right now. We expect in 2013 it's going to continue to grow at much north of 100%. With that, I want to move to the third area of our business strategy, and that is applications. Applications follow logically. If you're building platforms and you're creating cloud hosting capabilities, then the next step is to figure out what applications everybody wants. And we're not building every application. The world is full of applications. There's 800,000 applications in the iStore, right? The world's full of ERP applications and Salesforce automation applications and HR applications. We're not looking to reinvent the wheel or enter a market that's already been pioneered or developed. The applications that excite us are applications that were inconceivable 36 months ago. So the applications we build are the ones that no one's built, that we believe we can build and that we can be first at, and applications that we believe great many, if not all, of our customers will be interested in over time. And so I'd like to highlight three of them that we're really enthusiastic about today. One of them is called Wisdom, the other one's Usher, and the last one is Alert. Wisdom is a market intelligence application. In essence, it's a market intelligence network. And it comes out of the observation that it's now possible to create a universal customer data warehouse, a customer data warehouse that every single one of our customers that has an interest in the consumer would want to get access to. So maybe, I don't know, if you own an oil well and a country, you might not want Wisdom. But in the absence of owning some raw material and a 100-year supply of it, and if you have to sell something to someone or convince them to vote for you or influence them in some way or the other, then you would want this product. Wisdom is created by drawing all of the pure intelligence out of the social networks like Facebook and Twitter, combining it with government network database, census data, other types of geographic and public domain information that's put out by governments of the world, combining that with product network data that comes from Amazon and Google and others, and combining that with reference data coming from organizations like Wikipedia. Wikipedia is the largest encyclopedia in the world, has 19 million articles in it. By putting those large big data networks together in real time, we can combine all of that into a single customer database. And from that customer database, we can build an application that gives us demographic views, geographic views, psychographic views, and interest or consumer views of any given segmentation, right? Any of 1 billion different segments. Every teenage girl in San Francisco, or every Republican in Arkansas, or everyone that happens to like Cavalli that lives in Paris that travels to San Francisco more than twice a year. You can define any arbitrary segment in the world, and we can start to give you their geographic, psychographic, demographic, or commercial profile. Let me give you an example of this in the form of a video. This is actually, it's a quick video that shows you how you might do something like ad targeting in order to make money by drawing from big data out of the MicroStrategy Cloud, running MicroStrategy Analytics via the Wisdom application. And I think it illustrates things pretty well. Say you're a retailer like Neiman Marcus and you want to sell Movado watches. So you start by trying to figure out who are these fans. And you see the 58% are men. You see their average age is 34. You see where they live. And so now you want to zoom in on the men that might like Movado watches, and you pick the ones in the right age group, in the 20s and the 30s that you're targeting. and you figure out where they live, and you can see they're primarily in the United States. That's where the brand channels. And the next step is you figure out what else they like. I know they live in the U.S., but what do they like? Because I need to find a way to reach them. So you do a psychographic analysis, you find that men that like Movado watches in the U.S. are car lovers. They're 9.4 times more likely to be a car lover than the average fan. And so that being the case, we can zip over and figure out what cars they like. Ford, they're 131 times more likely to like the Ford Fusion. That's a huge affinity. We're looking at market basket analysis of correlations. Now I'm actually in the Facebook ad console, so I go and I find the right age group, 29-year-old to 45-year-old men in the Facebook universe that happen to like the Ford. I find 1.65 million of them, and that's my ad. Buy that watch. And I found a group with extremely high affinity. It's a large target audience. And I did it all fairly quickly. Now, the exciting thing about this, of course, is I showed you a simple and quick point solution. What if I told you I have 350,000 public figures in this database? 350,000. We have public figures that are generated every week. Within a day after the Olympics ends, I can tell you the most popular male swimmer amongst people that like Movado watches in the world. What if I told you I could scan all 350,000 figures and tell you the affinity or the correlation to Movado watches of all 350,000, and you can choose the single most popular public figure amongst your target demographic or the people that you want to sell something to? That's really amazing. What if I did that analysis I just did for you in 15 or 30 seconds? What if I actually did that 350,000 times in parallel in one day? And what if I'm continually running that algorithm every day? What happens if this is moving the world of marketing or the world of product design into the same space as the Wall Street algos, the algorithmic traders. They sit every single day and they're trying to figure out how they can trade, to buy something, to sell it, to short it, to go long on it in order to exploit some opportunity. Well, every single day something's happening, A musician's getting popular, a television figure is getting popular, maybe someone's getting unpopular. Maybe you have a Lance Armstrong effect where his popularity is waning. But within an hour after the gold medals get awarded during the Olympics, someone's popularity is going through the roof. So rather than you take 60 days to figure this out, what if I could tell you in 60 minutes? What if I could tell you in 60 minutes across 350,000 people? We don't just have 350,000 public figures. There are 14 million places that people have checked into this database. What if I can tell you the average income or the affinity to your brand of each of the 14 million places tomorrow? What if I tell you the one place where your customers hang out the most in each of 145,000 municipalities? We trace these. There's 18 million people in our database right now, and it's growing every single day. We can trace them to 145,000 municipal areas, 1,100 metro areas, 14 million different places that they like, 232 countries, 500,000 companies they're interested in, and 3 million employers, even 700,000 colleges. It's really pretty extraordinary. So this is the big data world that's coming. Now, this is not just a standalone database. We had this vision that we would actually take all that data, refresh it every day, and then synchronize it with your systems. And that's really the power of wisdom, because we can cross this and enrich it with your customer data, with your market intelligence, with your financial data, with your credit data, all in order to come to a better insight. What place should I put my store? Where should I run my ad campaign? Where is this brand most popular? If I do merchandising, is Cavalli more popular in the U.S. or Fendi? Where do the people live in the demographic market I seek to serve? Right? This is a map of customers in the UK. There are geopolitical insights you get from this thing within seconds that you might not get in a decade if you didn't have the right visualizations. We also have built into Wisdom index analysis where we actually look at the fan base that Wisdom generated for you versus the fan base that's in Facebook versus the actual population of the world. So we're working to tell you whether or not there's a bias in the data. I mean, we all know intuitively that probably 75-year-old billionaires are underrepresented in Facebook, and 18-year-old teenage girls are a bit overrepresented in Facebook. And we also know, right, for example, in the early years of Facebook, it got very popular with music and movies and entertainment, and it wasn't so popular with traditional supermarket sets. So if you type in dogs 2 years ago, the most popular Facebook page is Reservoir Dogs, right? It's not Poodle or Lassie or any other kind of dog. So that's all evolving. So the biases that are in the social network we can actually highlight by taking advantage of this index analysis we built into Wisdom. And when you start to explore your fan base for any given brand, you'll actually see whether or not Wisdom is a perfect representation of Facebook and whether Facebook is a perfect representation of the general population. And by the way, it may or may not matter. If you're actually trying to sell things to 18-year-old teenage girls, then that's what you want. So you're not really bothered by the fact that they're overrepresented. It's a benefit to see that. It's just a question of what you're trying to do with the information. What we do is give you the biases, and then you can reverse out the biases by normalizing and adjusting the data, or at least taking that into account before you make your decision. The latest version of Wisdom comes in a variety of forms. There's a consumer version that's free, and I would encourage everybody in this room to download Wisdom. You can run it on your smartphone, like an iPhone. You can run it on an iPad. You can actually run it on the web. So download it or load it. It's free. You can start to play with it, and you'll actually have access to our customer database running out of our cloud, and you'll have a whole variety of reports to give you a sense of what this can do. But if you get excited about it, there's a professional version. We view it as like the Bloomberg workstation of market intelligence. So we're selling a professional version with lots of enterprise business type reports, things like the page analyzers will let you compare multiple brands to each other. Or this example, which is, we call it competitor analysis. You can plug in all the competitors in a space that you might want to analyze if you're going to invest in them, or if you're going to merchandise them, or market them, or buy from them, or sell to them, or depend upon them, or write about them. And then we give you a breakdown of their demographic, psychographic characteristics. We also have a fascinating thing we've created called a briefing book. You can plug in a criteria, hit a button, and we'll generate a 30-page presentation, which is extremely dense in data, highly formatted, that gives you everything you might want to know about that subject. Plug in any actor, any movie, any city, any product, any company, a place you might want to work. Plug in anything you're thinking about buying, selling, investing in, shorting, going long on, and we'll give you everything we can pull out of this database on that. And we'll give it to you in a matter of seconds. I talked to a number of people in the research business. They said, this is going to totally revolutionize the research business. Why would you spend $50,000 and wait 6 weeks when we're going to generate something which might actually be more comprehensive, based upon a variable cost of almost nothing in a minute or 2 minutes? I think it's going to move us into the world of hyper-research. Right? Don't just tell me about that one athlete. Tell me about every athlete that's in that same cluster. I think everybody gets smarter and much more intense. And I think the bar is going to get raised. This kind of intelligence you can get from Wisdom Professional, you could have spent $100 million a year 24 months ago and you couldn't have had it. And that's what I mean by building revolutionary, compelling apps. Right? We're not chasing anybody here. We're not trying to duplicate the wheel. We're building something because you can build it for the first time in the history of the world, and because today the Silver Diner owner could have more intelligence than Walmart had 24 months ago. about their customers. You could have a huge IT department. You could have a massive gargantuan budget. You could have market researchers on speed dial, and you could have a $5 or $10 or $20 million a year budget to go buy stuff, and you still wouldn't know what you can know today. So this is an idea whose time has come. Wisdom is really being launched heavily in the market this year, but we're really excited about it. We're starting to see a groundswell of interest everywhere in the customer base. And it seems as though everybody wants more intelligence as fast as they can. They want to find a way to plug it into their business. So you can see here, we've got people looking to use this for media buying, for brand sponsorship, to figure out what kind of businesses to partner with. You can use it to figure out where to put your locations. You can do digital advertising. You do product promos. And these are some of our brands, big companies, small companies, ad agencies, massive gargantuan consumer packaged goods companies like Mars Corporation. I think we will see just about every one of our customers find some application for wisdom. And the reason why is just this, simply put. Many people may not know this. Facebook, they oftentimes do know, Facebook has more than 1 billion people in the network. But a lot of times people brag about big numbers. Here's the thing that they don't realize. 33% of all the attention on the internet is Facebook. 33% of all the attention, all the minutes spent staring at a web application is Facebook. 33% of all the time spent staring at applications on a smartphone is Facebook. You got 1 billion people spending 6 hours a week. Right? Even if only 1 hour of that is data entry, you have 52 billion hours a year of data entry flowing into that network. And it's all accessible. If you valued your customers' time at $10 an hour, you have $520 billion a year of data entry flowing into just that one network. Now you look at the amount of information that's flowing into Wikipedia, or the amount of information that's flowing in these other networks, it is so gargantuan. I can give you $100 billion a year. You couldn't gather this intelligence. So this is an example of an intelligence source that you ignore at your own peril. I would be afraid to not be plugged into this. At the point that we're reaching the point where I could give you the average age and the income and the propensity to buy your product and the amount that they wish to buy of every spot on Earth every day. Now think about that for a second. Your customer base, a net present value, every spot on Earth every day, every fan base, every idea, all the time, flowing out of that network. That's where we're headed. And you can see the proliferation of mobile phones. I think 200 million people started using Facebook on a mobile phone in the past year and a half. Right? As mobile phones proliferate, check-ins proliferate. As check-ins proliferate, people tell you who they are, where they're going, what they value, which of their friends are going with them. By the time you put check-in data with photo tag data, with demographic data, psychographic data, and then you wind it into the technology firmament and you plug it into all the commerce that's going on, you're hard-pressed to say that we have a better or cleaner database of consumer sentiment and inclination and aspiration anywhere, ever. I think this is going to continue to be a phenomenon. It's going to grow. We have a great partnership with Facebook, and I just think that the way they've evolved their business is genius. And I think that it's going to be a great, great asset for every one of our customers. And our plan at MicroStrategy is to plug the power of that hundreds of billions of dollars worth of data right into your business using this product. We can, one more point, we can plug wisdom directly into your sales or your marketing or your product development or your investing activities in a number of ways. One way is we could do a secondary key join. We create an instance of wisdom we call Wisdom Enterprise, your own sandbox. And in that sandbox, we would go join your product data, zip code data, store level data, sponsorship level data, television show level data, et cetera, directly. And that's a fairly quick thing. We can also, of course, customize the reports, customize any of the segmentations and metrics. Another thing we can do, which is even more powerful, is what I call a primary key join. We can actually take your customer sales data or your customer credit data or your customer, if you were a politician, your customer campaign contribution data, and we can load the file at the telephone number level or load them based upon email address and do a reverse lookup and a join. You give me 10 million email addresses with the amount of money people spent that was driven by your customer loyalty program. We reverse that, and then we will cross-correlate all of your customers' actual purchases to every place, every fan base, every demographic and psychographic profile. And so everything that you saw right there would be enriched with the annual consumption of your customers by that dimension. And that's extraordinarily exciting. It gives us a way to bring your customer loyalty data directly together with the social network. And I'm not talking about in a one-year project. I'm talking about like in a one-week project. Right? 4 weeks from now, you might be able to, if you're a bank, you might be able to generate a credit score by city block everywhere in the country. Or you might be able to generate the average consumption of fast food or the average consumption of your airline flights by every demographic, psychographic, and geographic you might want. And hand that to your marketers or your CEO in order to decide what to do next. And this is the kind of stuff people dream about, and this is what we live for, because it brings together everything we know how to do. Right? We know a lot about how to extract big data out of the cloud. We know a lot about how to build a customer data warehouse. We've got a great cloud platform to host it with. We've got a powerful intelligence engine, and then we've got a world-class set of tools to build the most powerful reporting and dashboard and visualization applications you could imagine. And where else could it be better than if I gave you access to hundreds of terabytes updated every hour at your fingertips that you just plowed into? This is the beginning of a trend, not the end of it. Every single year, this is going to go more powerful. It's not going away. Right? And this is why I think I'd probably be long on that Facebook product, because they're just getting more powerful. They're going to be able to sell you an advertisement, in the middle of the San Francisco stadium during the game of the exact demographic that you want, with the exact consumption tendency you want, with the exact economic profile you want, in the form of a button. And when the person clicks on that button, they're going to have purchase from you. And they're going to be able to do that for billions of people. 33% of the attention in the mobile space. There's no company in the history of the internet that ever got 33% of anybody's attention. Right? And this is what people they still don't quite get yet. This is stronger, and it's getting stronger as we go. And that takes me to my next application, right? Which is mobile commerce. Mobile commerce is definitely the future. Every company wants to be able to put their brand in your hand. And in order to enable mobile commerce for all of our customers, large, small, we've created a product called Alert. Alert lets you put your brand in the hand of your customers. Your products, your services, your loyalty programs show up on their iPhone, on their Android phone, on their tablet. And our approach to this has been, let's go ahead and put the 100 engineers on the project and all the cloud hosting equipment and all the QA and all the designers to make a beautiful, sexy, high-performance, robust mobile commerce app that runs across all platforms, so that you don't have to get mired in that and you can focus upon merchandising the product or service that your business is all about. So you want to sell a product? Using Alert, we give you a catalog. We let people shop. We give them search features. We want this to be as beautiful, as elegant as an Amazon application. But, there's 20, 30,000 retailers. They're not Amazon. So it's not reasonable to think that everybody's going to invest at the same rate as Amazon. You can actually put your receipts into the palm of your customer's hand And this is the most powerful idea. Your receipt is a jumping off point to a gift certificate generation, or to a reorder, or to a share. And so what if I had in the palm of my hand everything I ever bought? And when I need to rebuy it, I just go click, click, and in 15 seconds it's done. Instead of in 15 days or 3 days or 2 hours, why drive to the store to try to get it again? By the way, this is a powerful idea, and very few people have captured this. But if you had a customer loyalty program or a log of all the transactions your customers have done with you, loading that history and then giving them action against that history is an extremely powerful mobile idea. And of course, there's nothing more viral than money or gifts with monetary value. We've integrated the mobile space with the social space and with the telephony space. So anything you see, you can create as a voucher, and you can send to a friend, a Facebook friend on your network, or you could SMS to them, or you could email to them. And these are all core features that everybody wants. Now, how many? There's 50 million small micro retailers in the world. That's a lot. Right? How many companies are there in the world that sell some product or service to somebody? Now, how many of them are Walmart or Amazon? Well, not that many. Our view is we want to provide the mobile commerce platform for everybody that can't afford to spend $50 or $100 million a year to do it themselves. And our reason is we're not doing it just because we think that other people can't afford it. We know that all of our customers are rich and they're well-heeled, they can afford it, but they're also intelligent. And so why would you have 50 people working on something and then have that go to 75, 100, 200, 400, and 800 if you could just buy it for the cost of 3 or 2 and deploy the same capability? So our view here is there is an opportunity for an application which is also a platform to provide mobile commerce. And if we provide that application to hundreds or thousands of companies or tens of thousands, then we're going to amortize that cost across all of you, and then we make you more agile, and we cut your capital costs, and we cut your operating costs, and we allow you to do what you do best, which is to sell that thing, that product, or that service that you understand better than anyone in the world. I have to say one more point. I was just at NRF, a National Retail Federation conference. The retail industry has never been more vibrant than it is today, right? There is in the tech world, right? Walmart and Amazon would like you to think, oh, well, we're the winners and everybody else is the losers. But what was manifestly clear to me as I walked through the football fields full of vendors and met with all these retailers is we have more retailers than we've ever had, and they're more vibrant, and they're growing, all of them. And I scratched my head and I said, how could this be? Right? How could this be that on one hand, the big players are getting bigger, on the other hand, the retail industry is so vibrant? And it occurred to me, there's a global wave, a geopolitical wave that's rushing through the world right now. And that wave of technology is resulting in unprecedented amounts of free trade with India, with China, between Europe and the United States, between South America and North America, between the Brazilians and the Europeans. If you travel around the world, you'll see this. If you've been to Dubai, if you go to China, you go to Japan, you go to Europe, it's unprecedented, this global wave of trade. And the one thing that it's doing, which I think has been underestimated by a lot of people, is it is lifting hundreds of millions of people, maybe billions of people, into the middle class. Right? The overall middle class, the consumption of services and goods is increasing, and the overall economy is increasing. And the demand for all these things that specialty retailers have to sell is increasing. So I think a rising tide lifts all boats, and the wave of technology is driving productivity. Productivity is driving standard of living. And there are hundreds of millions of consumers in parts of the world that we've underestimated, and they're all wanting to buy stuff. And you can see it. You can see it flowing in demand for mobile commerce technology. Our view is we're going to provide the mobile commerce front ends and also the back ends. This is alert intelligence. So we want to provide you with all the commerce modules and the intelligence modules and take advantage of everything we know about merchandising, provide you with graphical interfaces, and the ability to filter and do product analysis, and view where your offers flow and how they get claimed, and look at where your users are. All the data that gets captured by a mobile commerce application is 100x or 1,000x greater than the data that gets captured by a cash register. Mobile commerce application knows where you are when you thought you wanted to buy the product. Cash register knows where you were when you paid for it. Right? And of course, we track every other sentiment. So I think that it's an exciting time for creating new kind of technology capabilities. And you can see here, we're bringing together intelligence, transactions, mobile, and cloud all together in an application which 2 years ago you just couldn't have built, you wouldn't have thought about. And if I'd said 2 years ago, let's do this, people would have said, well, it doesn't work well on my BlackBerry. In 3 years, you have 5 billion people. They're going to have a multi-touch phone that's at least as good as the current Android or iOS system. 5 billion people. And if you can't make money selling those 5 billion people, you just can't make money, right? Because they're going to have 98% of all the money to be spent. My last thing I'd like to show you that we're very enthusiastic about is a product called Usher. Usher is a revolutionary new application category. We're not copying anybody. There's no precedent to this. Again, it falls in the category of inconceivable 2 years ago. It didn't make any sense. But now, I believe over the next 36 months, it'll be, if not mandatory, it'll be obvious, and everybody will want it. Usher is a mobile identity platform, and it is based upon the observation that your credentials, your student ID, your employee ID, your national citizen ID is going to collapse into a piece of software that runs on a smartphone. Those 5 billion people need to get through airports, they need to get into schools, they need to get to work, they need to get on the bus, they need to get into the amphitheater. And nobody wants to carry around plastic cards or paper tickets or 100 keys or key fobs or all the other types of things that have accumulated in our life. So we created Usher to solve that problem. One of the most obvious things people do all the time is they try to do business over the phone. And one of the most basic fundamental challenges in the area of credit, compliance, and customer service is how do I know who you are when you call me on the phone? How do I know you're the customer and not someone trying to rip off the customer? Well, here, you give your customer an ID, and they call in and they just say, look, I'm customer 6796. The customer service rep types in 6796, and now they know who you are. This solves a very basic issue, who you are, what you're allowed to do. And you've got any of 5 billion phones that can authenticate each other in a few seconds, or any computer terminal can authenticate anybody. Now, application of that, if I actually do B2B, if I wanted to issue, I want to give 50,000 companies the ability to make an order over the phone, to order lumber, order bricks, if they want to make a trade, if they want to enter into a credit derivative swap, if they want to lock down a block of hotel rooms or reserve some asset that I have. They call on the phone. How do I know it's a valid order? How do I confirm it, validate it? How do I know they didn't get fired yesterday? How do I know they still work for who I thought they worked for? And how do I know that they're not actually frauding me? In this case, if you're issuing customer cards or customer credit cards or IDs, then on a B2B basis or B2C basis, you can authenticate someone's location and their identification in real time. You can also revoke the card in 5 seconds. And that's a very, very powerful security and safety improvement. It also turns out that there's a whole class of customer service you can't get over the phone without being able to validate the customer. So try calling your bank at midnight and having them wire money to somebody, right? They'll laugh at you. Actually, try calling your bank anytime and asking them to do anything over the phone. No offense to our good banking customers. It's just that banks and customer service are not known as synonymous, right? In fact, most things that I want to do on a bank, I'd really rather do on a phone, and yet they still require that I show up at a branch. And the reason why is they want to see my face and see a photo ID. Right? Try walking into a bank and withdrawing money without a photo ID. Right? They don't even trust you when you show up. That's because they can't authenticate your identity. No one trusts you. Right? Trust is the core of commerce. If I can validate who you are, I could do the thing from 1,000 miles away at 10 o'clock in the evening through a call center in the Philippines. If I can't validate who you are, I'm not doing it ever. And I think this is a very critical insight for customer service. You know, it turns out that another type of service people get is cyber service. Right? So every time a customer or an employee logs into a computer system, they put in a password and a username. If I actually have a Gmail account, you already know my username. If you want to hack my Gmail, you just got to guess my password. This should frighten you. This should frighten you. Right? The basis of most cybersecurity and identity theft is I guess your password, I steal your password, I keystroke log your password, I call in and pretend I'm you and get your password reset. Right? There are all sorts of techniques for this. Having a password puts you at risk. If it's so easy, I can guess it. And if it's so hard, you have to write it down, and then I can find it. Right? Lots of people just put their passwords in a contact file, in their contact list. Right? If you don't know it, maybe your secretary knows it, maybe your boyfriend knows it, your girlfriend knows it. You know, who knows who might be able to see it? Maybe someone, the computer repair guy just goes through it. Well, what if you didn't have a password? Right? What if you didn't have a username? What if you log in to a computer system, you go to a website, Amazon.com, and they just give you a seal, and I just scan the seal, and it just opens up for you. Right? The exciting thing about this is I just take my phone out, and if I load my employee ID, I can just scan my way into any system. There's no username or password to remember or lose. I load the ID once, and one person in the world can get into those computer systems. The person that can unlock my phone and then unlock my Usher application. So you have to go through 2 layers of security, but a simple PIN. And if you wanted to make it really powerful, you put in a voice metric. I give you a 4-digit PIN, and you have to repeat it. You have to say it 4197, and then that unlocks the system. That's a really powerful thing, not just because I can lock things down versus password theft, but also because I can actually geofence the mobile badge so you can only use it in your office. What if I could only log into the Pentagon system when I'm in the Pentagon, as opposed to being from Singapore with your password? It might be a very, very different thing. And you know, our view toward this is, if I can unlock a cyber door with a mobile key, why not unlock a real door with a mobile key? So this is Usher, and this is our door in our offices on the 14th floor of our headquarters. You can click your way through. You can scan your way through. You can get scanned by the door. We've integrated Usher to the standard connectors, like ONL door server. So every Class A office building in the United States is controlled by like one of 5 different protocols. You just plug into those 5 different servers, and you can open up all those doors. If you had 14,000 doors you're authorized to open up, you could just put a simple sticker that costs a penny on the door, scan your way into any of them, and get rid of your employee badge forever. If there's 20 doors you want to go through, you just load the soft key right on your phone, you just click them, or you search for them. I think it's very exciting, opening up every door, starting every car, going into your apartment building, going into every computer system. And then finally, we can even use Usher to digitally seal and open up a legal process. So you have a document, you want to sign it, you load the document, you pick your badge, you seal the document. And now you've got a digital signature right there, and it gets appended. If you have a physical document, you take your camera from your phone, you snapshot a photo of the physical document, and you sign it with your badge. You could use this to validate a purchase order, to enter into a contract, to seal any kind of official form, a tax return, a customer order. You could use it to seal a customer a receipt or issue a refund. So there's a whole host of business processes you might want This is an example, by the way, of taking a document and just creating the seal and sending the seal, or in this instance, the 2D barcode around. I don't even have to send the document around. I could just send the barcode. And so if I wanted to send certified, encrypted, private reports or private email, I just send you the barcode via the email or via an MMS or SMS message, and you just decrypt that. If it goes to the wrong place, it doesn't matter. They can't open it. If it goes to the right place and they don't open it, you'll know. If it goes to the right place and they do open it, you'll know when and where. And that takes me to my next point. We incorporated this Usher capability directly into Express. So now you can actually deploy an Express application to 50,000 store managers in a week. You could tell them, download your mobile ID. They download a mobile ID, log in once, and from that point they never have to log in again. So it's a good customer service thing. But you know what? You also know when they look at the report. And you also have perfect security of the report. And you also don't have to worry about someone else opening up the report that gets to their workstation. And as a result of that, we generate something else which is kind of interesting. And we call it Usher Intelligence. This is a subtle result of what we did, though. And I talked about mobile providing so much telemetry. If I have a mobile phone and it's your key, I can actually tell when you turn it on, when you flash the badge, when you actually get asked to present your badge, when you enter a transaction, when you certify a transaction, and where you were. So watch this as an example of MicroStrategy Intelligence and Usher in a real-world situation. If you turn this on for every employee in your company, or a customer, or every soldier in the Marine Corps, right, we start to generate all of the locational intelligence of all the types of activities you might want in a map view, or in a grid view, or in a graph view. Who is walking into your store, every vendor stocking your shelf, every truck driver moving around the trucking network, every FedEx plane that moves from here to there. You can see the actions. We can see when people display their badge or punch in or punch out or log in. We can take advantage of our really cool geo tools to highlight an area of interest. Why is someone logging into the payroll system in Chicago when I have no office in Chicago? Well, it might be interesting. I can drill down. Someone's signing a document. You know, I could show you every place where someone entered into $1 million trade in my bank. I can see what else they did and why they did it. If you're head of compliance, or if you're looking to make sure that there's no bizarre activity taking place in your bank or in your retailer, this is a great way to do it. You know, J.P. Morgan just had a situation where they lost $6 billion because they had a trader trading, and they claimed they didn't know he was trading all this stuff. And I think about it, and I think, well, so I probably would want to issue a mobile ID that gives you the ability to trade $1 million, $10 million, and $100 million worth of the company's money. And I like to see when that happens and where it happens. But then I think the other thing, what if you're trading with 100 other companies? How do you know that all the counterparties are also authorized to accept the trade? So if J.P. Morgan didn't know that their guy was entering into an authorized trade, how do they know that the Goldman Sachs guy is able to enter into the trade as the counterparty? Or how do they know that the CSFB guy is authorized to enter into that trade? If you're trying to enter into a trading network and you've got hundreds or thousands of counterparties, the idea of a mobile customer ID or a mobile credit card or a mobile authentication is a really powerful one, because it allows you to get control of your entire trading network or business network and have full transparency to who's doing what and when. And you can grant or revoke authorities as you see fit. In the world of business, it might save your bank $1 billion. In the military world, the equivalent of trading is, do you have the ability to drive that car down that road? If I want to allow soldiers to come and go through a checkpoint, or if I want to allow policemen to enter or exit a training facility, a mobile ID might very well help me tell the difference between someone that's actually a friend and someone that's wearing a friendly uniform that isn't a friend. And that's a life or death thing in a war zone. Now, We actually know the way it happens in the real world. It's somebody actually drives up with a badge and they show it to someone else that maybe can read it, and then they hope they don't get shot. But what about a world where you don't need to read and you don't need to be standing in front of somebody and you can't possibly screw it up and you can be 1,000 miles away or 100 yards away? That's the promise of mobile, right? Intelligence that's an order of magnitude or 2 orders of magnitude more, and transparency that moves at the speed of light. And that's what excites us at MicroStrategy. We see that the world's going to be remade over by the promise of much more powerful platform technology, much more powerful cloud capabilities, and applications that are revolutionary and mind-bending. And our goal is to bring those to you so that you can harness them for the power and for the health and the benefit of your company. And what we've seen over the past 20 years is our customers continually amaze us with their creativity. You have the assets and the business processes and the opportunity and the motive to put these things into production. If there's any lesson in business and in technology, is that the speed and the pace of change just keeps accelerating. And so we're accelerating to keep up with it. We'd like to be the best business partner we can to you, and we challenge you to take advantage of that. And in 2013, we look forward to bringing all these technologies to you and working with each one of you to make our collective organizations that much more successful. Thanks for being here today.